welcome to another edition of Lab Rats, a very special episode today. My name's Andy Walker.
I'm Sean Carruthers.
And the reason it's a very special Lab Rats is a very special Lab Rats 2, the 200th episode of you and me doing this thing to this camera and you guys out there. So hooray for us. Now, you may be wondering, where's the party?
Where is the party?
Well, we sent Matt out for decorations, and he came back with the attractive things you... thank you, Matt.
200!
200. Thanks, buddy. Hey! Careful. I also noticed that these are wedding balloons, Matt.
Budget cuts.
Yeah, we sent them to the dollar store.
Some of these are a bit imperfect, too. They have smudges and whatnot.
Anyway, this is the un-anniversary show. We did think we would have a look back at the last 100 episodes. We've come a long way, really, in the last couple of years, if you think about it, since our 100th anniversary. And today we're going to look at our favorite episodes from the last 100 as a celebration of how far we've come with Lab Rats.
Sounds good to me.
So with no further ado, let's get started. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to show you our favorite moments from the last 100 Lab Rats. Well, there's a lot of episodes to cover. I think it was 100 episodes, 2,200 minutes of Lab Rats.
It's a lot of minutes.
It's a lot of time. Let's get started. So I think one of my favorite episodes, like we go way, way back into the day, and in my career, really, it's when I get to wear costumes, right? So this next episode, this first clip is called Fonts Demystified. And if you recall, we invented Captain Rasterize there as the superhero who did the rasterization to explain how the computer created fonts, right?
He's a pretty lame superhero.
It was. Well, we were low budge. We still are low budge, but for the most part, we threw the cape and I think it was Matt's Superman costume from his aunt or something like that.
More great props.
More great props, exactly. But anyway, I love it when I get to wear. It all started way back when I wore a very overly tight Batman costume, and it was
for like an IMAX segment or something like that.
Something like that, yeah, exactly. So the tradition continues into Lab Rats, and so let's take a look at me as Captain Rasterizer in episode 136. In order to understand what a rasterizer is, we need to meet Captain Rasterizer, my alter ego. Wait a second. Captain Rasterizer is here!
That's the wrong outfit, dude.
Oh, crap. 1 second. Oh, I broke your present.
Thank you.
Be right back. Captain Rasterizer!
That's the worst costume ever.
I put it together in a hurry.
You can tell. You can have this pig back.
So I think there'll be many, many more outfits to come, I'm sure.
Oh, heaven forbid.
And did you like my little masking tape trick there?
Yeah, it was, as you say, very low budge.
Low budge, exactly. All right. So you must have, what's your favorite, your most memorable, show?
Well, I've got a few, but the one that I'm thinking of right off the top, going back close to the beginning of the last 100 we did, was something called Do Adjust Your Set. I think it was episode 111.
Now, this was in Vancouver, right?
This is in Vancouver, and for a while there, starting in the first 100 and then leading up to midway through this last 100, I was based out of Vancouver. I went to Vancouver to work on The Lab with Leo, which is a television show with G4 Tech TV.
Yeah.
And that didn't work out, and I came back to do Lab Rats full-time. Yay. That's one of the big changes over the past year, as this is now our full-time job as opposed to
weekends,
a weekend hobby and evening.
We were jumping coast for a while, right? So
yeah.
really, for a good year, we were flying back and forth and shooting 5 episodes at Sean's place in Vancouver. So I think this episode you're about to show was in your apartment.
This is one of the ones that we shot at my apartment, and my wife was not pleased that we had sweaty cheese sitting in our middle of our living room.
She's like lactose intolerant, right?
Well, I'm lactose intolerant, but she just doesn't like cheese.
Okay,
but with chocolate and cheese, we managed to show how aspect ratios work with your television set.
Very good.
So there we go. Take a look, and in all of its lactose-encrusted glory. Oh, that's getting really messy, just like this whole subject is.
So that's your standard 4:3 image on your widescreen. But what it does is, digitally, it stretches it, like this.
Oh, no.
No, that didn't work.
Food demos often don't.
You get it, right? It kind of mushes it, so there's no more black bars. So that the picture, as you can see,
is real messed up. Man, oh man. Food demos are a staple of the whole Lab Rats experience. And unfortunately, so is cleaning up after them. And we took at least a week to get the smell of sweaty cheese out of our living room. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
They're always his idea. He's the one that originated this out of necessity back in the day.
Back in the day. There's one episode that really sort of is very close to my heart, and really it's sort of an evolution of Lab Rats in terms of, going from our living room and, my place and your place into a commercial venture, right? Which was our move into butterscotch. The company Two Cows took us on back in the late 2008, actually in the mid 2008, and, the Lab Rats became part of the butterscotch.com network, and we became full-time employees. So this next episode that you're going to see is where we first got our first new studio. Lab Rats had a permanent home. Here we are in our studio, as opposed to in my corner of my apartment or the corner of Sean's apartment. So let's take a look at that. Now on the show, my favorite segment, I have to say, more fun than the main part of the show, opening and also misdownload or anything else that we happen in that segment. I even like it better than the commercials.
Do you like it better than your dance?
No, I like my dance better.
There we go. So we will skip what we're going to do next, which is picture time, and just have Andy dancing for a while.
Okay, we'll stop. Of course, one of the things you might notice in that show is when we did build a new set, we had actually an email complaint that our logo had us on the wrong side.
Which was the case for the first 150 episodes.
Right. So in that episode, we finally switched around, and so we actually match now the logo. That's one thing. And of course, my other favorite piece about that, I got to become your boss officially.
Don't remind me.
Okay. Now I know that you're become a big exercise freak these days, and I think it probably happened at another clip or another episode that you.
It was partway around this point where I started thinking about this more. It was one called Sit Up Straight, which was actually one of the ones that we shot in your old apartment as well.
Yeah, my loft.
And the whole concept was, people use their computers in a inefficient way sometimes, and very ill posture generated because of this, so you end up getting a hunch because you're using your notebook. Yeah. So we took a look at a few of the ways you can get around this, and ultimately we ended up sitting there on Pilates balls bouncing up and down.
Do you know, from a statistical perspective, that's one of our all-time most popular shows. I think it's in the top 5 of all the hundreds that we've done. It's, I think because it's foolish.
It's foolish.
But also, too, because Miss Download made her first cameo in there, and that's when, we started using her on Lab Rats as well.
And also you became a member of the group Loverboy in that one, I think.
I did, yes. Well, all the fans moved from Mike Reno to me during that episode. All right. That was episode, what was it?
144, I believe?
144, so take a look at this.
To stay upright like this, you actually have to maintain a good posture. It keeps all your muscles in line, it strengthens everything.
Like your core muscles?
It strengthens your core muscles.
Right.
And your back and all of that.
And a nice tight bum.
And it keeps you upright, which is the whole goal of ergonomic health at your notebook, is to keep your posture.
And if you're ADHD, it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. Careful now.
Sorry.
Well, that one worked out pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, some of the things that I think we forged in the episodes in the last 100 or so, we sort of brought out the best of Lab Rats and really used them again and again because you guys love them out there in Lab Rats land. But there is, of course, some episodes that didn't work so well. So when we joined the Butterscotch Network, the whole idea behind Butterscotch, of course, is to present information from a technology perspective in a very accessible kind of way. And we really aim at that. So the female user wants to use technology from a practical perspective. But of course, that's not quite the demographic of Lab Rats.
No.
So we did decide to just kind of engineer Lab Rats as that, the soccer mom's approach to technology. And so we had an episode called Soccer Mom's Tech Toolbox, which I think was an all-time low for us. I think our traffic went through the floor.
If this was Star Trek, it would be the Spock's brain of our series.
Not necessarily a bad episode, just ill-conceived perhaps. And you guys told us, you actually got tons of mail going, come on guys, what are you doing? Give us some tech back. Give us something to put our teeth into. We love Lab Rats. Please change it back. And so to our credit, and because of our fans, we actually did change it back and turn the ship again.
And to their credit, they told us.
They did, yeah. And that's what I love about our fans and our viewers is that they keep us honest. Keep us honest. So let's take a look at the ill-conceived Soccer Mom's Tech Toolbox. After all, you're balancing the dog and the kids and probably your spouse and that sort of thing. So we're gonna hit at a really high level. We're not gonna use too much techie jargon, but we're gonna cover a lot of material. So should we get started, Sean?
Let's get right to it.
In the world of Soccer Moms,
course, one of your key things that you want to deal with is your calendar and creating documents and scheduling and all that stuff. Now, you may use technology like Microsoft Office, for example, Sean. Excel spreadsheets, but why bother when you can use a new online technology, relatively new from Google, called Google Docs?
Well, the one nice thing about the Soccer Mom's Tech Toolbox is I actually got myself a soccer mom out of that deal. Maybe not that episode, but I married one, and I have a stepson now, and he plays soccer. And my wife drives a minivan, which is very frightening. Okay.
Could be. We learned our lesson, though.
We did. You must have a final clip, something that brings tears to your eyes, perhaps.
I do.
Tears
Getting
of joy?
back into the things that we did, after we learned that, we came back into some of the things that we did best, which was being goofy,
Yeah.
and
Antics, I think.
antics.
Yes.
Yeah, anything that involves us having to get out plastic wrap and protective gear are some of my favorite episodes. So, in honor of one of my favorite ones, one where we did the ink refilling, whether or not it was a good idea.
So Sean Carruthers Memorial Rain Slicker.
Yeah, so I'm not going to put on the pants because that was a bit torture-like when I did that for the episode itself.
Yeah.
So, but yes, any ones where we get to dress up like...
It still has like stains from that
It
episode.
does. Well, I don't know if that's from that, but I don't know where this has been since there. Actually, maybe I'll take this off again. Anyways, so there you go. Raincoats, ink, and whether or not you should do it, and antics.
Hey, what are you doing?
Giving myself rose-colored glasses, but it's green, so it's not working out so well. But green. We can talk about the environmental impact of this.
Right.
Are you actually saving the environment at all doing this? Do you think?
Ink on his nose.
I'm greenwashing
It's gonna be
my
there for weeks.
vision here.
Weeks and weeks and weeks. And that episode was called to Refill or Not to Refill. And I just remember we actually got that idea from people emailing ideas. And that's really where we get a lot of our ideas for the show is you guys email and say, hey, how does this work? Or can you do this and show us how, whether or not this is good or this is good? In that case, it was, a refillable ink cartridge is a good value, right?
Right.
So, and then of course, makes our crazy brains go and we start getting the rain slickers out.
So keep the ideas coming, definitely.
There you
Send them along.
Anyway, let's take a break. But coming up next, after the break, is Where It All Began, Episode 0. But first, a message from our sponsor. Well, if you haven't been following us, in the early days, of course, Lab Rats had to come from somewhere. And right when we kind of conceived of the show, in fact, I wanted to do an audio podcast, and Sean wanted to do a video podcast, and he talked me into it. So in order to sort of test out that capability, we kind of did a dry run on camera, which we call Episode 0. And it's Sean and I looking somewhat younger and thinner than we were today, sitting on my couch in my living room doing a test. And this is Episode 0. So what are we going to do on Lab Rats? What's the whole premise behind this show, Sean?
Well, the whole premise behind this show is taking technology you have in your house right now
Yes.
and helping you to understand the more advanced features, things that may be on your shelf already that you think you know,
Yes.
but you don't know everything you need to know.
You know those menus where you click and you go, oh, I wonder what that does? We're going to show you. Yes, we are. And in fact, this is Episode 0, but we're going to actually do Episode 1.
Episode 1.
And we are going to show you how to use the security features on your wireless router. Well, I think that's it for 200th episode. I'm delighted that we get this far.
Yep. It's a smaller affair this time around, but it still feels satisfying.
Exactly. Of course, we always want to hear from you guys. You are a key part of the show, and if you weren't out there, it would be impossible for us to be here. Send in your suggestions. What do you want to see in the next 100? Is an episode that we haven't done you'd love to see us do? And you can email that to.
Please don't make me get into that raincoat again. It stinks, please. At labrats.tv.
Or, more simply,
Feedback. Or at labrats.tv.
feedback@labs.tv. All
Yeah.
right. Well, thank you, Sean, for being my co-host after 200 episodes. It's been a delight, even though you put egg in my hair sometimes, and I do mock you for your apple love.
I just return the favor.
You do.
Usually.
All right. Well, that's it for us. Thanks so much for watching. My name's Andy Walker,
I'm Sean Carruthers.
and we'll see you in episode 201.